Hello, my name is Grant Fritchey. I work for Redgate Software. How's it going? I am here in the beautiful Hilton in Canary Wharf in London. Yesterday was SQL in the City Summit for Redgate Software, and very successful event. If you weren't there, you missed out. Sorry. Great event, fantastic time, fantastic sessions. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about today is GDPR and GDPR enforcement. Now, before we keep going, please hit that subscribe button down below there. If you want more information about the GDPR, especially how it relates to you as a data professional, I am here to help. That is my whole reason for existing. I want to now report that we've seen two different reports from two different countries on GDPR enforcement. It's starting. We are starting to see stuff go on. So first up, from France. And this occurred actually earlier in the summer. I didn't catch this one. I apologize. But in August, there were warnings issued to two companies, Timo and Fidzup. They're location management software organizations. They basically create a third-party ecosystem type stuff that allows someone to feed ads to people based on their location. But the apps as configured did not have a prior consent. The app could be installed and start feeding ads without consent of the user, and therefore it violated the GDPR. And so warnings were issued by the, what's it called? The CNIL. This is the French enforcement organization. They issued warnings. The companies changed their code within the 90-day period that they were given, and so now the French consider the action closed. They did not threaten or go after them with the max punishment from the GDPR. So, from a general standpoint, it doesn't move the ball anywhere on the field. We do know that the French are actively observing. We do know that they are reporting stuff. And we do know that they are, starting the enforcement process. So, we can expect to see more of that kind of thing. Now, the next one is from the ICO. That is the British enforcement arm. So the ICO on October 5th issued their very first warning, and it was to a Canadian firm. I mean, this is fascinating. So this is a Canadian data processing company. And they're Canadian, not an EU company. So I like to emphasize that. They went and talked to this organization, and they warned them because they've been processing data for Vote Leave, Be Leave, Veterans for Britain, and the DUP Vote to Leave. It looks like all kinds of Brexit organizations. Not getting into the politics, just commenting. All of this stuff, they're apparently processing personal data in a way that the data subjects were not aware of for purposes which they would not have expected and without a lawful basis for processing. Yeah, don't do that. That's so that they're in violation, and they were given a warning. Failing to comply with the enforcement notice may result in a penalty notice under Section 155 of a payment of up to 20 million euro or 4% of your turnover or 4% of your annual income, not profit, income globally. So whichever's higher. So that punishment's always scary. That's the first time you're hearing it. Yeah, be afraid. But they violated apparently Article 6, Article 5A, 5B, and 5C. So I would recommend you go and read those, and also apparently Article 14. So go and check that out. Now I'll provide links down below to the two articles that I just referenced. I will also provide a link to the GDPR itself so you can read those things. You definitely want to be on top of that stuff. But that's not all. Now I'm going to keep going because I want a couple of more things I want to give you. Now before I give you the other additional stuff, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't go. I've got more information, but I do want to tell you I'm going to have more videos coming out with lots more data on GDPR, mechanisms for compliance, what you can do, stuff to keep on top of as data professionals as someone with a career, not simply a job. You want to make sure you're knowledgeable about this stuff so that you can provide input to your organization and help them be compliant with the GDPR. Now, the additional information that I have is fascinating stuff. First up, one of two things. First, the ICO, again, the British enforcement arm, is reporting that they are seeing a massive increase in organizations self-reporting. Now, that's not that much of a shock because there is a requirement in the GDPR that says if you know you have a data breach, you've got 72 hours to report that. So it's not a shock that we're seeing that increase, but what it is telling us is that companies are taking this very seriously, and if they get a breach, they are reporting it. And that's, and it said it's gone up 173% since May. That's fantastic. I mean, it's just, organizations are taking it seriously. By the way, if you don't have good monitoring in place so that you're able to tell that you've had a breach or you aren't even sure how to define what a breach looks like, might want to get your monitoring set up and might want to get your knowledge of what a breach is so you can keep going with that. Now, back to the French, there's actually one other thing from the French that's from a technologist standpoint fascinating. And that is that they've issued a warning about how blockchain applies to the GDPR. And they're saying that some uses of blockchain, by definition, violate the GDPR. Now, again, I'm not going to get into this one because some of the technology of blockchain, I'm not that up on. Some of it I am. But I'm just going to give you the link. You can go and read this yourself. But it does throw that monkey wrench into the issue. You are the technologist. You need to know how that data is being processed so that you can help your organization better comply with the GDPR. So we're seeing a lot of stuff happening. There's going to be more. I will report it as I get it. And that's it. My name is Grant Fritchey. I work for Redgate Software.